back to CFP Nation. I am your host, Nino Brown. I got my guy you already know, Mr. Get It Done, aka Dino. When you see us on the screen, you already know what time it is. It's Devy Darling's time. Dino, how we doing tonight, buddy?
Not too bad. Been a long week, but being an Iowa guy, anytime we're talking tight ends, I'm 100% in, so I can't wait.
Yeah, well, when we bring this up, this show, yeah, a lot of times tight ends don't really get a lot of love. We have some guys that we found, Jack Endries, Olive Sportingham, and I think there might have been a few others that we've brought up already in the group. Like I said, we probably hit about 30 guys already, but most of the time it's wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs. They seem to be the flashier, popping guys on the thing. But every once in a while we get a tight end that just produces or we think can produce. So it's like got to show him some love. And this gentleman last year in a crowded receiving room did okay. Brett Norfleet, right? 6'7", 220, 225 pounds. Came out of Francis Howell High School out of Missouri. Four-star tight end recruit. Right, he was tight end 13 in the 2024 class, top 250 overall. That says that a tight end top 250 overall. That right there says something, right? Missouri 5A, two-sport athlete, baseball and football. And on football, he was a two-way athlete. He played defensive end and tight end. Dino, talk to me a little bit about his high school stats here.
Yeah, so baseball wise, he played in 5 games. Bat 333, 3 hits, 4 runs, a home run, a triple, which is saying something at 6'7" ish, 4 walks. So obviously showed some patience. And then his senior year in 4 games, he had 8 receptions for 83 yards, a touchdown, and averaged just a little over 10 yards per catch.
That's not bad stats for senior both sides of the ball. Again, you're playing both sports. It's probably I don't know where you find time for stuff like that. Like, where do you practice and train for both sports? Because they kind of like run into each other. When you know what I mean?
The winter.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only free time.
Holy, you're going hard in the paint for sure, right? But the size of the kid, like you said, they're hitting a home run, and a triple. Like, that's a big fella to be running, cruising around them bases, and then having an eye and patience, getting those 4 walks, in those 5 games that he was in, batting 333. That's it. You bat 333. You're probably in there for the batting title. Okay, I know it was only in 5 games, but at the end of the whole thing, the end of the season, if you're at 300, 333, you're going to be in consideration for that title at the end of the year. So the kid had it. I did read that this year he is all in on one sport, and that sport is football for the Mizzou Tigers. So we'd like to see him locked in a little more, see what happens this year going forward. But he did receive 20-plus offers before he committed, to Mizzou and played last season. He enrolled in Mizzou August 1st, 2023. He had offers from USC, Tennessee, Purdue, Alabama, Miami, Notre Dame, Colorado, and many more. But what I saw, what jumped off the screen to me, is this guy is just an enormous target. Like, if you can't miss this guy, he gets good size and length. He's versatile. For a big guy like that, you can play outside, right? You can play in the slot. Mostly he's in line, just for the size, but you can play wherever you really want him. He has an enormous radius. You just throw it up, he can go get it. He's a contested catch monster. I got a funny feeling they're going to find more opportunities for this guy this year at Mizzou. But talk to me about what you saw that jumped off the screen to you.
Yeah, so first thing I noticed is how physical he was as a true freshman when you saw him in there. Super physical. He blocks well again for another true freshman. Not afraid to do the dirty work blocking, right, which, I mean, you love. He works well in the short and intermediate game, not a one-trick pony. One thing I did notice is he's not the fastest, but if he is in open field, he eats up some yards. And then obviously 6'7", red zone threat. I mean, just like you said, throw it up there, contested catches with his catch radius. He's going to come down with the ball.
He's going to eat in the short and intermediate game. That's what he's not Rob Gronkowski. He's not be running 9 routes. Okay, that's not going to be happening. There's only a few.
Not of those. Yet.
Yeah, not yet. Maybe by the end of the time at Mizzou or wherever he ends up, that they can work that in. But right now, he's not running no 9 routes. He's going to be that guy in the short and intermediate. But they have guys. We're going to get into that a little bit. They're going to spread the field and open up this short and intermediate game for him. I mentioned you in the green room. You said he's willing to do the dirty work blocking. Cody Schrader at the combine had nothing but great things to say about Norfleet, saying that he's going to be the next big thing besides Luther Burden out of Mizzou. And I've been hearing, oh, he might need to work on the blocking. But if Schrader's picking him up, he ran behind that gentleman all year. I think he knows a little thing or two besides everybody else. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, if anyone's going to know, it's going to be Cody, who ran behind him all season. So I would trust that over an outside eye.
I know. Kirby Moore also said, like, down the stretch, and we're going to get into it at Mizzou, he kind of started to get into his own, right? And he was physical, like you mentioned, doing the dirty work, whether it was blocking or just getting out there and fighting for extra yards. So I think, and we're going to talk now, 22 targets, 18 receptions, close to 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged almost 11 yards per catch. Through weeks 7 to 14 is when he started. He got all the starts from 7 to 14, right? 17 targets, 13 receptions, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Out of the 143, 117 were yards after contact. I would assume that at 6'7", 227 pounds, 225 pounds, whatever he may be, right? It's going to be hard for him to take it down on the first contact, all right? 13 of those receptions, 11 of them were for first downs. And he had 254 run blocking snaps, right? And he only allowed 2 pressures in the rest of the time where he was in pass block situations. So he's all right at blocking for what it seems to be, because almost 275 attempts when he was in the run blocking scheme. I guess he's doing okay as a true freshman. What are your thoughts about, his first year and down the stretch here when he got them starts at Mizzou?
Yeah, I mean, true freshman starting in the SEC at tight end against some of the most physical linemen and
right,
only allowing 2 pressures. I mean, that's hello right there. And then 11 first downs, 117 yak. Again, as a true freshman with those front sevens, I mean, you can only go up.
Yeah, I've been saying it for a while. I truly believe this kid's going to have, an opportunity. We're going to get into it right now. Talk to me about this wide receiver room.
Yeah, this wide receiver room is pretty loaded. Obviously, you got the alpha Luther Burden, who's arguably the best wide receiver in the country. 86 receptions, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Then you got Theo Weiss, who may arguably be one of the better 2s in the country.
Right.
49 receptions, 680 yards, 6 touchdowns. Then you got Mookie Cooper, 26 catches, almost 300 yards. But then sneaky, they got Nate Noel coming in from App State, who's a dual threat running back. He had 40 receptions, 200-plus yards, 5.4 yards per catch over the last two seasons for App. So, like you said, the weapons are going to be there to spread the field where he can eat over the middle on the short routes.
Now, I know Schrader went on to the NFL and with San Francisco. They also brought in Marcus Carroll, who was at Georgia State last year. Now, he'll probably be more of that ground and pound guy, and Noel will kind of be, the lightning to the thunder. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, switch it up. So, but having a run game, having, Cook be established and ready to go and tested, after last season, I just think, like we spoke, they're going to spread the field. This kid's going to have a lot of open looks. This day and age, it seems it's like in the SEC, the linebackers are getting smaller and faster. The tight ends seem to be getting bigger. You know what I'm saying?
And faster.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of leaning the tables, going towards the tight ends. I think this kid has the opportunity to really burst on the scene and be this next guy that we're talking about. Kind of like how I talk about the gentleman at Michigan, right? Coastal Lovely. He's supposed to be this next guy. I'm just getting a vibe that Norfleet, after this year, we're going to be talking about, is he going to come out after his junior year, or will he stay for 4 years? The talent there, the athleticism, the size, if he can just work on getting a little bit bigger, right? Put on a little bit more muscle to him. Work on a route treatment. I'm not trying. I don't need 6 routes. I'm not talking, but just get a little bit where you could get downfield. Right now, he's just kind of, like I said, that short guy. I think that this kid has a lot of opportunity.
Yeah,
all right.
Like you. Sorry to cut in, but like you said, after this year, the tight end room is going to get a lot younger. Because like you said, Loveland's gone. Lachey will probably be gone.
Right.
Some of the bigger name tight ends. So depending on this year, he has a chance to really shoot up draft boards.
You're going to have Delp's going to be gone, right? I would assume that Kuti will be gone. Right? I would assume. Also, the dude from Bowling Green, Fanning Jr., Howard Fanning Jr.
Yep.
So there's a couple. It seems to be kind of stacked up this year a little bit. I think after that, like, he's going to probably be a top 3 guy to be talked about. So
Absolutely.
especially with all the guys kind of going now, it's going to be Cooks will be out, Burton will be out, Weiss will be gone. He's going to be that #1 offensive weapon returning.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get to that section. Play comps. I'll start it off. I went back to the ceiling floor type deal. The floor, I got Zach Gentry. Okay. Michigan guy, 49 receptions, 817 yards, 4 touchdowns. The way he worked the middle of the field, when he was in college, bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? I know it's kind of like a lazy man thing because I went with the size, but I mean, I can't be going with a 6'7" guy and then go with a 6'3" tight end. That that was a speedster. So his type of play, and then Tyler Higbee. I just like if he can get a little bit more like shiftiness to him. Higbee kind of works those short interviews. He does have a little bit of time where he can work down the sideline and perimeter and downfield, which right now Norfleet doesn't have. But that can be, taught, and if he can work that into his bag, he could be, a little poor man's Tyler Higbee. What are your thoughts on my guys? And give me your 2 comps.
Yeah, Zach Gentry is an interesting one because correct me if I'm wrong. He converted from a quarterback originally.
I believe so. Yes.
But Tyler Higbee, I love that comp. He was extremely underrated coming out of college. Has really carved out a good role for him, especially with the Rams.
Was it Western Kentucky, right?
Western Kentucky, yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I like that. Again, if Norfleet can create some wiggle, again, start edging down the field a little bit more,
yes.
That Higbee comp could be spot on, I think.
Cool.
So then mine –
oof.
Yeah, kind of both ends here. My floor, I think, is Hunter Henry. Again, I think he doesn't get enough respect as a blocker. I think he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league, especially at Arkansas with the kind of offense they ran. He blocked a whole bunch, was real physical. He kind of played in the short to intermediate route with Arkansas as well.
Still does.
Yes, still does. I mean, you would know better than anybody up in New England. And then my ceiling, this is solely college based. I'm going to put that asterisk out there. Is Kellen Winslow Jr. Man,
he was a dog.
He was a dog. At Miami, he kind of started that wave of shifting tight ends out a little bit. Had a huge catch radius. Again, was a contested catch monster. Just get him the ball, and he figured out some way to catch it. But again, he was also super physical in the blocking game. Wasn't afraid to take on those DNs in the Big East. So those are my comps. What do you think of those?
I love, like I said, the Hunter Henry one. I can see that. Like we talked about in the green room. I can see that Hunter Henry's a little bit smaller than he was, but the style of play. When he was at the Chargers, he did the same thing, right? With LA, and now in New England, he does kind of the same thing. Under that 2020 and under, he just eats. He finds a way to sit down for the quarterback, get open. I think he can be that style of player as well. Winslow, that's a super ceiling for me. That dude was an absolute freak.
I mean, after this year, the sky's the limit for Norfleet, I feel.
I agree. So, absolutely. And I was going to say, like, going to kind of roll off of it, he may not get all these targets that we think he could get in this short and intermediate game because they could just be threading the ball. Right? Could just pound the ball and then just throw it deep. Right? That's what they could do. But at that size, this guy could walk away with 8 to 10 touchdowns this year because he could be a red zone monster. It's on. Burton got 9, and we said 6, right? But Schrader had a bunch. So those could get.
Someone's got to replace those numbers.
Exactly. I mean, it could go to the 2-headed monster running back room. It could go to short yards, touchdowns. It could go to, hey, maybe Weiss and Burton don't get in, and they get to that, goal line 5-yard option. This kid, I think, is just going to have an opportunity, kind of like the gentleman from LSU. Right, Mason Taylor. He had the opportunity. You're starting to see how they're using him. Big-bodied guy, kind of, athletic, contested catch dude. Breakout party came in a bowl game in the end zone. He was catching all kinds of touchdowns. Yeah. Now he's the guy. So I think Norfleet's going to be that dude. Whether he will, go for 600 yards and 40 receptions, I don't know. But I do believe that touchdown number will skyrocket this year. And like we said, in year 3, the sky's the limit. I'm Nino Brown. That's my guy Dino. This is Devy Darlings on the CFB Nation, and we out.